Then the man brought me to the gate facing east, and I saw the glory of God of Israel coming from the east. His voice was like the roar of rushing waters, and the land was radiant with his glory. The vision I saw was like the vision I had seen when he came to destroy the city, and like the visions I had seen by the river Kebal, and I fell face down. The glory of the Lord entered the temple through the gate facing east. Then the Spirit lifted me up and brought me into the inner court, and the glory of the Lord filled the temple. Ezekiel 43, verse 1 to 5. Activating a divine encounter. Before we highlight the keys, let us look at the importance of these specific encounter. And the man of God, Ezekiel, was calling himself Son of God, Son of Man. He is saying this was the third encounter. He had the first encounter at Kebal River, and he had the second encounter on the road, and they come to destroy the temple, and then the glory of the Lord departed from the city of Jerusalem. Now this is that encounter of this glory of God. A thing to note is in verse 2, part B. His voice was like the roar of rushing waters. That is okay. And the land was radiant with his glory. If the Lord is going to appear to us, and I don't mind the form that the God is going to take to appear to somebody, as long as he appears. The impact is that the earth, sorry, not the earth, the land was radiant with his glory. There's a difference between earth and land. And the land there can mean you as a person, your personality, can mean your destiny, can mean your professional career documents, can mean your marriage, can mean your job, can mean your business or your ministry. If the Lord appears, your rod becomes radiant with glory. So you manifest magnificence, excellence, epicness, awesomeness, amazement. You stop being normal. You stop being natural. You stop being ordinary. If the Lord appears to you, you reflect his nature. You reflect his being. So if he comes to you through glory, his glory, you manifest glory. The rod was radiant with his glory. Your business becomes radiant with his glory. People just want to buy from you. Your marriage becomes radiant with glory. Your ministry becomes radiant with the glory. Your personalities, you are, whatever you do and whatever your ministry, your destiny becomes brilliant, becomes radiant. It now becomes sparkling with glory. With the glory, with the sweetness, with the beauty, with the awesomeness. Why should we not then seek this encounter? If that is the impact. How did Ezekiel position himself? Because that is what I told you is the most important thing, positioning. And I keep on repeating, two statements I've been repeating in this series which we are concluding. Number one, God will never appear to you and remain the same again. Number two, God has no problem in revealing himself. The problem is he is revealing himself to who? Who is available. And many of them are taking the revelation of God to become cult leaders. Number one, the Bible says, the glory of the Lord came through the gate facing east, or what we call East Gate. It is the same gate, because we can, I don't want to define it, because Ezekiel 47, the Bible says, verse 1, the man brought me back to the entrance to the temple, and I saw water coming out from the under the threshold of the temple towards the east, for the temple faced east. The water was coming down from under the south side of the temple, south of the altar. He then brought me out through the north gate and led me out the outside of the outer gate facing east. And the water was trickling from the south side. So what does this east gate mean? The gate that was facing east. That's an altar of God. The glory of God came through the east gate. Do you have an east gate? Are your gates open? Psalms 24. Psalms 27 verse 4. Open ye the ancient gates. King, I want to consider, make sure your east gate is open. And God said in Psalms 100 verse 4, enter into his gates with thanksgiving. So does it mean gate that God uses to enter through? Preferably, most preferably is thanksgiving, but we have defined about the gate in another topic, but I just want you to take it just as a number two is I fell face down. God reveals himself to those who know how to practice reverence, worshiping God with fear and awe. I fell face down, prostrate. Number three, we can write there, is that the glory of the Lord entered the temple. Entered the temple. What experiences the glory of God, or the manifestation of God, the revelation of God, is the temple, not a house, not a body. Our bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit. For God to reveal himself, we must make sure we have transitioned our natures, or our body natures, from being a carnal body into a temple of God by offering our bodies as a living sacrifice. Romans 12 verse 1. So God glory is revealed to a temple, or inside a temple. So we must make sure we have become temples of the living God. The next thing, Ezekiel says, then the Spirit lifted me up and brought me into the inner courts, where the glory of the Lord had settled. For us to experience the revelation of God, we must make sure we are spiritual, not carnal. A carnal person cannot encounter God.